What? Are you okay? Was there a spider on your wall, Rebel?
No, you didn't see the screen?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
I
yeah.
thought that was Spoots for some reason. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Spoots.
Some spooky ghost monitor coming out of nowhere. It's just terrifying for us. Yeah, I don't even think that was our producer. They're pretty sure that was a VCS production, so I'll put it on them as just trying to scare me a little bit right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, okay, talk about the game. Yeah,
okay, talk about the game. Yeah, I wasn't going to go any further with this. As it's another game where it feels like Saigon is prepared for what Team Secret has. Team Secret looks... I know our analysts talked about being a little bit lost in the draft and things to talk about in that. I don't know. There's so much here that also just gets completely thwarted by Renata. You got a bunch of low-range champions yet again, where it's like Saigon Buffalo says, okay, we will simply press Renata ultimate, and then you will not have the engagement that you are looking for. I don't know. It feels like Saigon came to play, came to draft. They were prepared for today, and Team Secret does not feel prepared for today in the slightest.
We've always praised the VCS, and for any of those who... Were you sniggering at my comment, Rebel?
No.
Were you sniggering? Okay, cool. So, for those people who are new to the VCS, we've always praised Saigon Buffalo and their coach Ren in particular for being very good, very creative with their drafts. And this feels like Ren, again, stepping up massively in this series for Saigon Buffalo. And again, out-drafting Team Secret completely. And we're seeing Ren and particularly Shogun essentially saying, this is how you deal with a Kalista. Penguin looking towards the bot side. We asked for more aggression from Penguin, but the support is already dead, and now Penguin is practically in a 1v2. Eddie trying to do damage, but Shogun flashes forward. He hands checks Eddie, and he breaks his hands in the process.
Yeah, see, this is why you don't create a fan club for players that are bad, Milky. You don't create a fan club for Eddie when he gets absolutely trounced in this bot lane, gets double killed at only 2 minutes into the game. Okay, never mind, I spoke a little too soon. Unfortunately, I cast a curse Saigon Buffalo by making it so Artifact would get a kill against Froggy here at the beginning of the game. They were trading really heavily. What exactly prompted this? Because Zuhao, I don't think flashed. I don't remember him flashing at any point here. Okay. Zuhao, what are we doing, man? He didn't even press an ability. He just sat there and waited for the autos to come through. And then there was this also from Eddie, stepping back up right into Taki's E that allowed the flash auto from Shogun, which just wins the situation completely. It doesn't even matter that Artifact gets a kill. Like, the fact that your Draven now has 2 kills to kick off a game like this, it means that bot lane is nigh unplayable. Like,
okay, so just quickly, Rebel, can we blame Eddie for that? Because that to me just looked like, oh, okay, we can. What for? Just
I can blame Zuhao for Zuhao's positioning, but I can blame Eddie just as easily for Eddie's positioning because it was disastrous. As Zuhao is again in mid lane, he's going to get pulled back. Will they actually put out the damage?
Handshake from Taki, but there is no ignite. Zuhao will survive, and Artifact's just wondering why are there supports in my lane? I was having a great time into Froggy until you guys showed up.
Zuhao, what are we doing, man? Like, he's like the epitome of a Amumus right now inside of the VCS split. Our Amumus have not been good. They're very low KDA. This is the solo kill from earlier, as this was just Artifact, I think, getting the better of Froggy. Oh, Froggy just got clowned a little bit right there. I think he got tricked by the damage that came out from Artifact because he was only an E away from, I think, turning, Eing, hitting him with the Justice Punch, auto-attacking, and maybe a Q, and he probably kills Artifact, but it was just enough damage. The Shogun now is...
Look at that movement speed, it's scary, and he's just gonna get run down, and Shogun picks up the kill. I think Taki gave Shogun a bit of a burst of movement speed that helped Shogun out, but ooh, Eddie, my boy, can't be doing that in playoff.
This is a disgusting bot gap series. Every single lane we've seen, every single interaction we see is just Shogun and Taki bullying these two on the bottom side. Zuhao feels lost. Eddie right there, I think he was too far up. He was confident with the level 4. Maybe then he didn't have to worry all that much about Shogun just running at him when that was always going to be a fear to have. Not to mention, I mean, Eddie has just ditched the idea of boots, is going right for first item, which, like, it's a very standard thing to go for boots quickly, especially, as Kalista and into a lane where you have to be dodging some axes and you have to be getting some distance from Draven. I don't know, like, this doesn't feel like a playoff prepared bottom side at minimum right now from Team Secret. As, again, the Draven continues to spiral just completely out of control. This time it's not even BJ causing problems. It is just the bottom lane throwing away kills.
Absolutely, and it's Shogun just hand-checking Eddie, saying, okay, you think you can play the Kalista? You think you can do what I did to you in game 1? This is how you deal with the Callista. You pick Draven, and you clap the Callista. And that's exactly what Shogun is doing. It's been a fantastic performance so far from him. The man has picked up a Sheen.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize you can pick a Sheen this early on Draven. I didn't even realize it was, part of the build pass. I forgot Essence.
Oh, you haven't seen the Essence Reaver with early lethality? Oh, you're in for a treat, man. You drop 300 damage on an auto attack because you enhance Sheen damage and you have advanced Q damage and you've got penetration. If you think the lane's been going badly now for Eddie, you haven't seen anything yet. It's gonna be real bad.
Dew House on a ward.
Gracious.
Froggy flashes. Hijacked hero's entrance. Artifact joins in, but Zhu Hao has already fallen. Now it's a 3-on-1. The hero's entrance from Froggy. Froggy's going to survive with a bailout. Can they get the kill on Artifact in time? No, they can't. So it becomes a 2-for-1. BJ finds one kill. Penguin making his way over, but just watches Eddie picking up the kill onto BJ.
And a couple of kills inside of the jungle. I think almost unnecessarily aggressive from Saigon Buffalo, looking for more. They do get Artifact at minimum, and I think they pulled Zhu Hao as well, so it ends up
Eddie,
just a 2-for-2.
Don't go there. Eddie, you will die. Just get away from that tower, buddy.
It's a circumstance. Hero also burned Flash because Hosmed is doing enough to kind of bully him at the beginning of the game. The thing is, Shogun hasn't left his lane at all yet. Like, that right there was just it was a combination of BJ, Froggy, and Taki just showing up in the right circumstance. In a fight where Shogun shows up to this, I think it gets even worse. But these are some of the weaker members. And I love this from BJ because BJ cleans up 2 kills here, which means the Wukong is now activated for a game like this. Artifact stalled this for such a long time, and you can really appreciate that Artifact nearly won this situation. I was surprised they didn't have the damage to kill Artifact right here. That's why BJ had to go aggressively into Eddie. The other thing is, again, if Shogun enters this fight, he maybe gets an entrance and is able to help kill off Eddie before the Penguin shows up to the fight, but perhaps too little too late. Instead, he just stays bottom lane and continues to bully, because that's like the 8th time that Eddie has had to back this game. There are 2 plates off this tower at 7 minutes before the Rift Herald is even around, just because Shogun has felt like throwing auto attacks in the right direction. It's been something else.
And now Artifact thinking that he's caught out Froggy, and BJ shows up. Artifact forced to walk away from the chicken pet.
Did you die again? Yep.
Yes, he did. Whoa,
this is so unfair. Like, this is so unfair.
How? I'm gonna be honest. This is starting to look like my solo queue Mumu.
Yeah. Your solo queue Mumu. I mean, he's got to hit 10 deaths, but honestly, the way Zhu Hao's been playing this one, he might hit that.
Excuse me, that only happens when I play Morgana. I'll have you know, on a Mumu,
12 kills, 12 deaths?
12 deaths, exactly, yeah. I'm going full Mickey.
How do you die 10 times on Morgana? What? She stands like 1,000 miles away from everybody. How are you even close enough to die?
So my issue is, I'm a tank support player, so whenever I play enchanters, I play with a positioning of tanks because I don't engage my brains. So that's why I die a lot.
Okay, never mind.
But yeah,
we're ignoring this right now. You're playing like Zhu Hao. Can Shogun 2v1 underneath of his tower? Find out this time on Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't matter because Taki showed up anyway. But the bottom lane being as powerful it is a very meaningful thing. I will say some teams have struggled, at least from what I've seen, to play around a Draven as a primary carry on a team. So I do worry. I don't have that problem for Saigon. I think Saigon's good enough at team fighting. And I think, I give nothing but props to Shogun because I think he's an absolute masterclass of an ADC as of this split. But it is something to note that, again, there is quite a bit of follow-through when it comes to the engagement from Team Secret, where, like, you do have Callista, you do have a Mumu, you can throw a Silas and a cannon, you can kind of throw everything in the kitchen sink at Saigon Buffalo and hope to catch the Draven out. And the only real defense to that is Taki, and then Froggy. I think DJ can also pop things as well. Like, Hosmet's got a lot of peel to try to pull off of Shogun. It's just a question of how quickly the engagement can come through to try to kill him.
Body slam into explosive. A car slicing Maelstrom from Hero does absolutely nothing into Hasmed. It doesn't slice Hasmed, it doesn't cut Hasmed. And in the end, Hero will die for nothing.
Okay. So now, I mean, BJ is now just able to put focus at the top side of the map, which I think is well warranted. If you prevent the cannon from getting strong and you prevent this engage from doing a lot of damage on its initial kind of impact, it means that Shogun doesn't have to worry as much. And then all this counter engage I was just referring to actually comes into play. And it means that Shogun can focus down individual targets at a time. And so once Cannon's kicked out, I think it's all about shutting out Penguin from a game like this, making sure there's no dive pressure from Viego onto the Draven. And once that's dead in the water, there's just nothing left for Team Secret to accomplish in a game like this, because there is just so much of this counter engage that you have to worry about from Saigon Buffalo. As Rift Herald was also taken, which means BJ has so many options to what he wants to do. Oh, that's okay. This is a fight.
BJ lurking the bush. Cyclone comes out, but in goes Zhu Hao, drops down the ultimate, but from down comes the whirling death, and it is a death of 4 penguins. Zhu Hao next on the list, and it is 2 kills for Saigon Buffalo.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, not gonna catch Eddie with that E, unfortunately, but. I mean, the Shogun, I think the only thing we can critique is the fact that he's gotten basically no money from Draven stacks in this game because he's killing people so often that he just can't stack any Draven stacks. He's just constantly killing people and making it so that he cashes out like 50 gold at a time as opposed to a couple hundred gold. As this was a play that, like, with 3 members, I think if Zhu Hao is able to get there fast enough, maybe this play when they're split up is a little better. BJ getting out of this was also miraculous, using the W, using the ultimate to kind of stall for time. Hosbid showing up in the perfect little niche here to make sure that Zhu Hao gets punished and that there's no re-entrance from Artifact in the slightest. And it's going to be Shogun picking up first tower. It's going to be first Dragon in the game going over to the side of Saigon Buffalo. They still have Rift Herald to play for as well. And now Shogun is unleashed onto the rest of the map. This is not good for Team Secret in the second game in a row.
I feel like this play towards the top side may not work. Okay, never mind. Penguin is there. Froggy does not have a hero's entrance available. The first bandage toss does miss. Slicing Maelstrom through, and Harsmed will fall. But here comes Froggy. Penguin incredibly low. Zhu Hao going to try to zone, but the taunt lands onto Penguin. Use the Heartbreaker to be able to make his way out to safety, and Team Secret will just get the singular kill as a Whirling Death almost tags onto Penguin, but he will be able to survive.
Yeah, right there, Froggy just needed to be a little bit closer, because if even a single auto attack, I think, from Penguin would have netted at least 1, if not 2 turret shots, which would have certainly traded that 1-for-1 back in favor of, or at least tied it up for Saigon Buffalo. The big difference is Froggy's kind of presence, as well as Taki roaming across the map, means that they couldn't push for any more than just the 1 kill underneath the tower. And now Shogun gets to aggress against the mid tower, probably pull 3-4 plates off of this one. I think it's 3 plates after this comes through. The tower not going to go down completely at this point because of the defense of Zhu Hao and multiple members being here, but that is just still one of the meanest things I've seen. The fact that they can move Shogun into mid lane, just bully off 4 towers as a response to that topside play, where they needed 3 people just to kill off Hosmet, who is just the weak sider in this one, right? He's playing the Gragas. He doesn't plan to absorb that much resource in a game like this. Really, Saigon Buffalo's playing for Shogun, playing for that side of the map as much as they can. And even when Hosmet is aggressed against, they're getting something on the other side. Saigon playing exactly as they need to.
Now, for those people who know a little something about Japanese history, now, the thing is, Artifact, he was practically the MVP last split. I don't care what people say. He is leading our MVP votes in this split so far. He's practically the king right now. But here's the thing. The king in Japan, the emperor in Japan, didn't actually rule. It was the shogun who ruled. And that's exactly what Shogun is doing. He is showing that Artifact is meaningless to him. Shogun is calling all of the shots, the lead of the Shogun, effectively the police of the VCS.
Yeah, okay, so on one hand, I agree with you, and this would have been funny if it hadn't already been done before, so unfortunately, Milky, I think you're getting sent to the cringe compilation. Somebody's done it on VCS before. I can't remember who it was that talked about it. It was probably Carrix, if I had to take a wild guess, but somebody has definitely made the Shogun joke before, so...
I wanted to do it with SBTC, because then it's like Emperor, and then it works, but, you know, I had to make do.
You were too slow to the game, man. It's just not the case.
Yeah.
Also, if everybody starts jumping on the Shogun hype train, I just want it to be said first that I was the one that said he was the number 1 ADC of the split before anybody else did, because everybody's been on the style train a little bit more, the Artemis train a little bit more, and I think that he's the best. So before anybody else gets to jump on that cloud, that was me first, because unfortunately I don't like to be Milky where my comment gets stolen by somebody before I have a chance to say it.
I don't believe that has ever happened before, Rebel. But okay, I will concede apparently it has been done, according to Carrick, 6 times before. So he's been counting
6
them
times?
Well.
Okay,
6
never
times.
mind. We're just burying that joke in the ground. Okay,
see, so I'm allowed to do it because I'm following a trend of copying it now.
Sure.
As you mentioned, Rift Herald has been started by Team Secret. Saigon Buffalo are making their way over.
Oh.
This looks like it could be disastrous for Secret. They will be able to get the Rift Herald, but they can't pick up the eye. And now BJ engages with the Cyclone. The hero's entrance finds a 2-man knockup. Zhu Hao goes golden. Jar dives one in, and he lands the ultimate. The hijacked hero's entrance from Artifact does absolutely nothing. He just throws himself into the firing line, and Shogun picks up a double kill. Team Secret are getting absolutely wiped. 4 kills for nothing for Saigon Buffalo.
Goodness gracious, I'm really hoping that Team Secret is just as good as they were in the main split, because if they are, then Saigon Buffalo is just playing absurdly good League of Legends. 15 minutes into the game, this much dominance, having the mid tower down, having just about every structure they could ever want in the entire world. I loved this from BJ. He set up not around taking the Rift Herald, not around a fight trying to preempt the Rift Herald going down when Team Secret was prepared, but instead turned immediately once the Rift Herald was down to defend the eye more than anything else, and it meant that he had more time for the rest of his team to show up and put out damage. It was a great decision from BJ, being able to be followed up on by, of course, the Galio coming through from Froggy. And again, you can't really walk into this team because they have so much kind of area control with all of these champions that they weren't able to set up this big team fight that they would have wanted. Unfortunately, Artifact jumping in with that Heroes entrance didn't do as much as they wanted. I don't think Zuhao's ultimate had the impact they wanted. And it meant that Shogun, you just got to pick any target that he wanted to across the board and just smash them. Just smash them with axes the way that they intend the fight to kind of always play out. As Hosmed fancies a chance against Hero right here.
The explosive cask is available in a few seconds. Can Hero get the kill before it comes off? A cooldown? Minions? Hosmed used the explosive cask to kill the minion wave as well, just to ensure that he doesn't take any unnecessary aggro and die.
Well, I think the purpose for it was actually that he got level 12, so he leveled up and had no chance of dying anyway. It was a combination effect of both killing the minions, but there's a bottom side fight potentially coming through as...
You call it a fight, I call it a massacre. Turkey on the side, the hostile takeover, will actually be able to tag Penguin Artifact, just getting blown up so quickly. Hosmed picks up the kill, and Saigon Buffalo want more. They're looking for Eddie, who's trying to hop away with the Marshall poise, but will get caught and will fall. BJ picks up the kill, and Saigon Buffalo get 2 more.
And I think it's about time we start calling this for what it is, which is probably just a second Saigon Buffalo game win in a row. But this is a second dominant Saigon Buffalo win in a row. This is disgusting what they've been able to accomplish so far inside of a series. And what is going on with Team Secret? Like, how has this team looked so bad 1 week removed from being our number 2 team in the entire league? Like, how is that even possible? They did go 0-2 in their final week, I will say. But again, I thought part of that was just the fact that, you don't have to worry about your positioning in playoffs. Yeah. But this team is looking just completely a complete far cry from how they were earlier on in the split. Everything on Saigon is working and nothing for Secret is.
Slicing Maelstrom did absolutely nothing, Team Secret. They're trying to make picks, but you can't be picky eaters. You need your fruit and veg, and Team Secret are just getting murdered. 2 more kills for Saigon Buffalo. They're looking for Artifact. Hosmed flying towards the Silas. Eddie and Juhao forced to just sit on the side and watch, but BJ has come in from the side. He's 1v2ing. He gets the kill onto Eddie, and he's looking for more. Fantastic handshake from Taki. And down goes Juhao, 20 kills before this game. Rebel, we were talking about bringing up certain narratives if Saigon Buffalo stomped Team Secret. I think we should have brought those up about 9 minutes ago, to be honest.
I am so dumbfounded by this. This should never have happened before. I mean, the fact was, walking in, I mean, it is the higher projected seed. I think anybody that's been watching the VCS would know that Saigon has been performing better as of late, but I was anticipating that Team Secret would show up when the time came. They are not showing up at all today. I wouldn't be shocked if they were worse than SE at this point. I know they lost to SE in the final week in a 2-0, but I thought that was more so just that they didn't have anything to play for, and SE had plenty to play for. But this is probably the worst I've seen this team play for basically the better part of 2-3 splits. Like, this is unheralded. Just how disastrous it looks. Right now, it feels like Artifact is like the only player that's actually accomplishing anything inside of this series, and nobody else has really been able to stand up to anything at all. And I wonder what happens in Game 3, because...
I'm going to be honest, Rebel.
Sure.
I think Team Secret played better when they had Eddie on Lee Sin.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, but this team looks far worse than they were earlier in the split. And I do wonder what the change needs to be, because we talked about, like, the draft was a problem in the last game. The draft was still a problem in this game, but for very different reasons. And again, it feels like preparation is a bit of an issue here today, and that's not something you can really fix on the fly. You can try to draft better, try to draft more comfortable stuff, but that's the best you can do. But it feels like there's even more issues than that underneath the hood. Like, they're clearly struggling in a lot of different avenues that they just haven't been for the majority of the split. It seems like coordination is completely off, and I don't know if it warrants something like a substitution for Skewed. I don't know if it warrants a substitution elsewhere on the map, but they have to figure out something, because right now this is not even a competition between these two teams. It is just a slaughter.
Hero uses a slicing maelstrom, can't even get in range of Shogun
Oh my
before he
goodness.
gets murdered. And Team Secret are just getting wiped. Saigon Buffalo are wasting no time. They haven't even taken an inhibitor tower, and they're picking up kills under the Nexus towers. An inhibitor tower down, Saigon Buffalo wiping Team Secret. Team Secret, they need to go back to the drawing board. I don't know, they need to go further back than the drawing board. They need to go to where the drawing board got created and
21
shipped
minutes.
from, because Saigon Buffalo have wiped Team Secret, and Team Secret need to make some drastic changes. Otherwise, this is going to be one of the quickest 3-0s I've ever seen since G2 won at MSI.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable just how strong that this team has looked, and unbelievable how far, how flat on